Hello mga kawawmat! In this video lesson, we will discuss mathematical induction. So paano nga ba tayo mag-prove gamit yung mathematical induction? For example, meron tayong itong unang halimbawa natin. Prove that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n is equal to n times the quantity of n plus 1 all over 2 for all positive integers. So yung unang step na gagawin natin para ma-prove natin itong statement na to, i-verify natin yung formula natin for n is equal to 1. So yung unang step, i-verify natin na yung statement na to ay gagamitin natin yung n is equal to 1 to verify. So ano lang yung gagawin natin? Papalitan natin yung n natin ng 1 to check kung sila ay equal. So, isa-substitute natin yung 1 dito sa n, and then yung mga n natin dito sa right side ng equation natin, ay papalitan din natin at magiging 1. So, 1 is equal to 1 times the quantity of 1 plus 1, and then add natin yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, 1 plus 1, that is 2, multiply sa 1 dun sa labas. So, 1 times 2, that is 2. Divide 2, the answer is 1. So, as you can see, class, they are equal. So therefore, the formula is true for n is equal to 1. Next, after natin ma-verify na true siya for n is equal to 1, next natin gagawin, so the next step ay tinatawag nating induction hypothesis, kung saan i-assume natin that n is equal to k for all positive integers. So, ibig sabihin, papalitan natin yung n natin ng k. Ganun din sa right side ng equation, papalitan natin ng k yung mga n natin. Since ito ay assumption, so paano natin iprove? Hindi pa natin alam na ito ay true since assumption pa nga lang. So, iprove natin gamit yung n is equal to k plus 1. So, again, i-show natin na ito ay true for n is equal to k plus 1. So, paano natin gagawin? First, so gamit ito, yung assumption natin. So, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k, so ito yung dulo. Idadagdag natin ngayon yung value ng n na k plus 1. Okay, so may karugtong ito, o dudugtungan natin nung k plus 1. Again, so, galing tayo dito. So, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to k plus yung k plus 1 natin. And then, dito sa right side ng equation natin, ito, right side ng equation natin, lahat ng n, papalitan natin ng k plus 1. So, k plus 1 times, so yung n natin, papalitan ng k plus 1 all over 2. So, para maging maayos, so, i-simplify natin ito. So, magiging k plus 1 times, so k plus 1 plus 1, that is k plus 2 all over 2. So, yung goal nating class, para ma-prove natin ito, na equal sila, so kailangan itong nasa left side ay equal dito sa right side. So, paano natin gagawin? So, we all know na mula dito, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to k, ay equal dito sa k times k plus 1 over 2. So again, ito class, ito yun, di ba? So equal siya dito sa k times k plus 1 over 2. So kukunin natin ito, and then idadagdag natin yung k plus 1. Okay? So yung focus muna natin ngayon ay nasa left side. Kailangan mag-equal siya dito para masabi natin na true yung natin statement for k plus 1. Okay? So, ito, focus natin itong nasa left side. So, again, kinuha natin ito dahil ito class ay equal dito. Kaya kinuha natin. And then, dinagdag natin sa k plus 1. So, sa fraction, di ba kapag may fraction ka and then nag-add ka ng isang whole number, so, ang ginagawa natin, kinukuha natin yung LCD. So, yung LCD nito ay 2. Okay? And then, imumultiply natin ito sa 2. So, kapag minultiply natin, So kapag minultiply natin ito sa 2, so maka-cancel natin yung 2, ibig sabihin, ika-copy na lang natin ito. Okay, yung k times k plus 1. And then, since yung denominator nito is 1, so ang mangyayari dyan class, so hindi tayo maka-cancel. So, imumultiply natin ito dito. So, 2 times k, that is 2k, plus, copy yung operation natin, and then 2 times 1, that is 2. So, again, wala tayong ginawa dito kasi maka-cancel yan. So, therefore, ito ay kokopyahin na lang natin. So, yan. And then, after nyan, sisimplify natin si k times k. So, i-multiply natin yung k dito sa k plus 1 sa loob ng parenthesis. So, maging k times k, that is k squared. Then, k times 1, that is positive k. Then, idugtong natin itong 2k plus 2 all over 2. And then, combine similar terms. So, copy k squared, k plus 2k. So, pwede natin i-add ito kasi pareho silang may k. So, k plus 2k, that is 3k. And then, copy positive 2. So, kung babalikan natin class yung topics nyo about factoring, so, ang pinakamadaling paraan para ma-check natin na tama, ang sagot natin ay gagamitin natin yung factoring. So, kapag binalikan natin yun class, so ang factor ng k squared plus 3k plus 2 ay equal sa k plus 1 times k plus 2 all over 2. So, kung nahihirapan kayo sa ganito, okay, yung pagpa-factor, so balikan niyo yung mga topics sa grade 8 kasi nandun yung factoring na lesson. So, or, kung gusto niyo naman class, i-multiply niyo ito. Okay? Kung i-multiply niyo ito at ang lumabas ay k squared plus 3k plus 2 all over 2, ibig sabihin sila ay equal na. Okay? So again, since ang ginawa ko class, finactor ko to, and then makikita natin na yung factor niya over 2 ay equal dito sa right side ng equation natin. So ibig sabihin, since both steps have been validated, so the given statement is true for all positive integers. Okay, so once na nakita natin na sila ay equal, so ibig sabihin yung statement natin is true for all positive integers. Another example, so prove that 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus up to 2n minus 1 is equal to n squared for all positive integers. So again, ano yung una natin gagawin kapag nagpo-prove tayo using mathematical induction? Okay, i-verify natin for n is equal to 1. So papalitan natin yung n natin ng 1. So substitute 1 sa n natin equals, so since n squared yan, so ilalagay din natin yung 1 dito. And then, simplify. So, 2 times 1, that is 2, minus 1. And then, 1 times 1, that is 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And 1 is equal to 1. So, therefore, the formula is true for n is equal to 1. Since true siya, so proceed tayo sa next step. Okay, and that is the induction hypothesis. So, paano ginagawa yung induction hypothesis? So, i-assume natin that n is equal to k for all positive integers. So, ang gagawin lang natin, papalitan natin yung n natin ng k. So, that is assume that 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus up to 2 times k. So, yung n, pinalitan ng k, minus 1 is equal to k squared. And since assumption pa lang ito class, so iprove natin na kailangan ito ay true for n is equal to k plus 1. Diba? So by using the next step, by proof of induction, so iprove natin yung assumption natin by n is equal to k plus 1. So paano ulit ginagawa? Okay, so prove that 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus itong dulo natin, which is 2k minus 1 plus, since yung n natin is k plus 1, So, ito yung class, di ba? So, yung n, papalitan natin ng k plus 1. Okay? So, again, ikakopy natin yung last. Okay, ito yung last natin. And then, idudugtong natin ito, pero papalitan natin yung n ng k plus 1. Kaya naging ganito. So, 2 times k plus 1 minus 1 is equal to, and then yung n natin dito, papalitan natin ng k plus 1. So, ganito na yung magiging ano natin. Okay, statement. Now, paano natin i-prove ito? So, kailangan, so ang gagawin natin dito class, yung nasa left side, kailangan mag-equal siya sa k plus 1 squared. So, madalas din class, pwede rin naman na ang gagamitin natin is yung nasa right side na equation. Kailangan mag-equal siya dito. Pero kanina, sinimulan ko kasi nasa left side tayo. So, sa left side, may mga case lang na ang kailangan mo rin gamitin is yung nasa right side. Pero in this case, so mas maganda nang gamitin natin is yung nasa left side. So, paano ulit ginagawa? So, since ito, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus up to 2k minus 1, ito yung class, right? Ay equal daw sa k squared. So, kunin natin yung k squared. And then, idudugtong natin ito. Plus 2 times k, that is 2k. And then, 2 times 1, that is 2. Copy minus 1. So, kailangan mag-equal siya dito sa right side natin. That is k plus 1 squared. And then, kailangan natin i-simplify kasi meron tayong 2 minus 1. So, 2 minus 1 is 1. So, copy k squared. And then, copy 2k. 2 minus 1 is 1. So, ito class, k squared plus 2k plus 1 na. Kapag ito pinactor natin, magiging k plus 1 times k plus 1 ito or k plus 1 squared. So, they are equal. So, ibig sabihin, since both steps have been validated, the given statement is true for all positive integers. So, medyo madali yung example number 2 natin. Next, for example number 3, prove that 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared plus up to n squared is equal to n times the quantity of n plus 1 times the quantity of 2n plus 1 all over 6. So, medyo mahaba. So, unang gagawin, i-verify natin, okay, yung statement natin or yung formula natin for n is equal to 1. So, ang gagawin lang, yung n natin, papalitan natin ng 1. So, magiging, so 1 squared is equal to, okay, so lahat ng n dito, papalitan natin ng 1. Okay, then simplify. So, 1 times 1 or 1 squared is 1. So, copy 1. So, ito 1 plus 1, that is 2. And then, ito naman 2 times 1, that is 2. Plus 1, the answer is 3 over 6. And then, 1 times 2 is 2 times 3, the answer is 6. And 6 divides 6, the answer is 1. And that is, they are equal, no? Pareho sila. So, therefore, the formula is true for n is equal to 1. Since true sila, proceed tayo sa next step. Okay, ano yung next step natin? Induction hypothesis. O, ang gagawin natin, i-assume natin statement for n is equal to k. So, mula dito, papalitan natin yung n natin ng k. So, that is, assume that 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared plus up to k squared is equal to k. So, again, yung n natin, pinalitan natin ng k times the quantity of k plus 1 times the quantity of 2k plus 1 all over 6. So, ito yung assumption natin. So, ipoprove natin, gamit itong assumption natin, for n is equal to k plus 1. Okay, so ipoprove natin using the next step, and this is the last step na yung proof of induction, where n is equal to k plus 1. So, mula dito class, so 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared plus k squared, ito yon. Idudugtong natin yung k plus 1 since yung n natin, papalitan na natin ng k plus 1. Okay, so idadagdag natin yan dyan. So, k plus 1 squared is equal to, then lahat ng n natin dito, papalitan natin ng k plus 1. So, k plus 1 times, yung n, papalitan ng k plus 1 plus 1 times 2 times k plus 1 plus 1 all over 6. So, simplify natin ito para makita natin ng maayos. So, k plus 1, copy k plus 1. So, k plus 1 plus 1, that is k plus 2. So, 2 times k, that is 2k. Then, 2 times 1, that is 2. Plus 1, the answer is 3. So, meron tayong k plus 1 times k plus 2 times 2k plus 3 all over 6. So, ang gagawin natin ay kailangan equate natin itong nasa left side and then titingnan natin kung sila ay equal ng nakalagay sa right side ng statement natin. So, gamit ito. Okay? So, medyo mahaba-haba yung gagawin natin. So, mula dito, 1 squared up to k squared class, so ito yon ay equal sa k. So, kukopyahin natin ito. So, that is k times k plus 1 times 2k plus 1 over 6 plus yung k plus 1 squared. Okay, so k plus 1 squared. So, ang next natin gagawin ay kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, may LCD tayo. Ang LCD na to ay 6. So, i-multiply natin. So, 6 times k plus 1 times 2k plus 1 over 6. So, maka-cancel yung 6. So, ang maiwan na lang ito. Okay, so maging k times k plus 1, okay, plus, times 2k plus 1. Okay, so copy lang natin iyan class, and then, idudugtong natin, ito imumultiply natin doon. So, hindi agad natin siya imumultiply kasi meron tayong exponent na 2 dito. So, kailangan natin masimplify muna itong nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, ilagay muna natin siya dito sa labas. So, ilagay natin yung 6 sa labas. And then, after nyan, so, multiply natin ito. K times k, that is k squared. Then, k times 1, that is k, multiply dito kay 2k plus 1. Plus, so, copy natin yung 6. And then, ito kapag in-expand natin yung square of binomial, so, ang shortcut sa square of binomial, una, i-multiply muna yung first term twice. So, k times k, that is k squared. And then, multiply natin ito, yung first and last term natin, then multiply it by 2. O kaya, twice the product of the first and last term. So, k times 1, that is k twice. So, k times 2, that is 2k. And then, yung last, i-multiply natin yung last term, ng dalawang beses kasi naka-squared tayo, 1 times 1 kaya 1. So therefore, k squared plus 2k plus 1. Or, kung nahirapan kay class, gamitin niyo yung FOIL method. So ibig sabihin, dalawang k plus 1 ito na imumultiply natin. So mula dito class, okay, itong k squared plus k, imumultiply natin dito sa loob pa ng parenthesis. And then ganun din si 6, imumultiply natin dito sa loob ng parenthesis natin. Okay, so maging k squared times 2k. So again, k squared times 2k, that is 2k cubed. Since multiplication ito, so i-add natin yung exponent. And then k squared times 1, so that is positive k squared. And then next tayo, so tapos na tayo dito, di ba? So sa k naman, k times 2k, that is positive 2k squared. K times 1, that is positive k. And then dito tayo. So, dugtong natin. So, 6 times k squared, that is positive 6k squared. 6 times 2k, that is positive 12k. Then, 6 times 1, that is positive 6. So, medyo mahaba, no? All over 6. And then, i-combine natin lahat ng similar terms. Since ito class, yung first term natin naka-raise sa 3 or nandito siya sa cube, no? So, wala namang may cube dito na so, yung natin, wala namang kapareho siya. So, copy nyo lang yan. 2k cube plus k squared plus 2k squared. So, ito magkakapareho. So, ito yung i-add natin. K squared plus 2k squared plus 6k squared. So 1 plus 2, 3 plus 6, that is 9k squared. And then yung k natin, so k plus 12k, that is 13k plus 6 over all over 6. Okay, so hindi natin alam kung equal na ba sila. So paano kaya natin malalaman na they are equal? Okay, kasi kung factoring ito, parang mahirapan kayo kasi apat sila. Pero kaya naman ito i-factor. So para mas madali sa atin ma-check kung they are equal, so ang gagawin natin, okay, so ang gagawin natin, i-simplify natin itong nasa right side. Okay, i-multiply natin silang tatlo. Okay, para ma-check natin na equal sila nung nasa left side. Okay, so gagamitin natin itong nasa right side. Tingnan natin kung equal sila dito. So, mumultiply natin itong tatlo. Okay, una muna, ito muna yung i-multiply natin. Okay, ang dalawa muna. So, k times k, that is k squared. K times 2, that is 2k. Okay, 2k. And then 1 times k, that is k. So, pag inad mo yon 3k. Okay, and then 1 times 2, that is positive 2. Okay, so hindi ko na pinakita. Again, class, pag minultiply mo itong dalawa, ang sagot doon, k squared plus 3k plus 2. And then, saka natin i-multiply dito sa pangatlong factor. Okay, isa-isahin natin. So, k squared times 2k, again, k squared times 2k, that is 2k cubed. K squared times 3, that is 3k squared. So, dito tayo sa pangalawa. 3k times 2k, that is 6k squared. 3k times 3, that is positive 9k. 2 times 2k, that is positive 4k. And 2 times 3, that is positive 6. And then, combine natin yung similar terms. So, copy 2k cubed. And then 3k squared plus 6k squared, that is positive 9k squared. And then 9k plus 4k, that is 13k. Copy positive 6 all over 6. So as you can see, class, equal sila. So kapag pinactor natin ito, same lang sila ng ganito. So ang magiging factor nito ay k plus 1 times k plus 2 times 2k plus 3. So ito ay isang paraan din, class, kung nahihirapan kayo i-factor, so ang gawin nyo, ito yung i-multiply nyo. And then, kapag pareho sila, so they are equal. So masasabi natin na sila ay true since mula sa tatlong step na ginawa natin, the statement is true for all positive integers. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button para updated kayo for more video tutorial. This is your guide in learning your math lesson, your Wow Math channel.